Before I start the video, I would like to give a massive shout out to my Patreons who have been supporting my channel. If you would like to check out my Patreon and receive early access to some very exciting videos coming soon, then please click the link in the description below.
Well, what? Oh my god. Well, today I am going to be talking about the plot of The Giggle because a lot of things happened in that episode. It was very quick paced. Oh, it was very fast paced indeed. There was a lot of things that were going on right from the outset. And I want to kind of explain the plot because especially in the latter part of the episode, things picked up quite quickly. So yeah, it's understandable if some people got a bit confused. And when I do these videos to explain stuff like the ending and stuff like that, normally people, well, most people, can understand the plot after a rewatch and stuff like that. However, this time I think it did kind of go some places, and I want to talk about them, especially that twist. So yeah, let's get into this video. So the plot kicks off with a pre-title sequence scene with John Logie Baird, no doubt, with the production or the development of the first television screen, and this is all done via the puppet Spooky Bill, and that puppet is sold by the toy maker, and this obviously kicks off the toy maker's scheme because we flash forward to the present day and people are rioting in the streets. There's people trying to jump in front of cars, there's people fighting each other, and there's riots all over the place. And how does this all tie together? Well, we will be talking about that in a second. But in the present day, yeah, people are going absolutely chaotic, as we saw at the end of The Wild Blue Yonder. And people were just, they were going at each other. And the Doctor tries to intervene to try and find out what's going on. And he learns that in people's minds, because of the heightened anger and emotions, that they feel that they're right and that they've got to be right. And it's that selfishness that the Doctor brings up later about humanity. All those worst attributes have been heightened and brought to the forefront of everyone on planet Earth, which is, well, imagine like you've got that one selfish person that you know, but they haven't got any redeemable qualities. They're just being the worst possible version of themselves. Now imagine that with everyone on Earth, which is absolutely chaotic. But whilst this is all going on, the Doctor bumps into a guy dancing around in the street. He doesn't click on it's the toy maker yet, but he's like, no, hang on, no, sorry, I've got to go back to my friend. Because Donna and Wilf are there. Sadly, Bernard Crimmins doesn't make a physical appearance. It's done via a body double and reused dialogue. But it is nice that the character is still present there to develop continuity from The Wild Blue Yonder. But yeah, Unit turn up and they escort the Doctor to Unit HQ, or Unit Tower, because they've had a bit of an upgrade since the last time we saw them. And they've got an Avengers-like tower where the Doctor lands on the helipad and he is greeted by Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and Shirley Ann Bingham, and it's like, wow, things have really, really hit the fan. And during this whole sequence, the Doctor is reunited with Mel, played by Bonnie Langford. The first time Mel has properly reprised a role, apart from the Power of the Doctor and Big Finish, this is the first time she's fully reprised a role since, well, forever. And it's nice to see her back because we do get some development on what she got up to after leaving, and it's nice to see that, yeah, she's back after Dragonfire and what happened with her character. We get some brief explanation to how she got back to Earth, but it's nice to see that, yeah, classic era is represented through the inclusion of Mel, which I thought was bloody terrific. And yeah, we move straight on to the events of what's going on with this puppet. Now, with the puppet, obviously it was used for the first television broadcast, but it's somehow possessed by the toy maker. And the Doctor discovers through, pointing the sonic screwdriver at various screens that no matter what you're watching, whether, you've got, playing Candy Crush on your phone or something like that, you could be subtly being, manipulated by this puppet, because underneath that layer of the screen is that puppet, if that makes sense. So literally whatever you're doing, whether you be watching TV or watching a film, underneath that layer there is that puppet making you go mad. And that's why the population of the Earth are going mad at each other, which is a very complex plot. but it works. But anyway, the Doctor goes back in time to find out what went wrong in history, and he finds the shop that the puppet was sold from. And this is where he meets the toy maker again, and we get a nice, lovely flashback of sorts, through glitches, where we get to see the original toy maker and the first Doctor as well, to kind of recap to everyone that yes, this is a villain that the Doctor's met before, way back in the classic era, which I thought was a nice touch. And then, whilst the toy maker's doing a recap about balls and throwing balls, he decides, the next game is hide and seek, and he runs to the back of the shop, and this is where they enter the toy maker's realm, and every door leads back into the hallway, and it's all trippy and stuff like that. And then the Doctor is like worried because he realizes, the toy maker is above and beyond any other villain that him and Donna have ever faced, which I thought was like, what? Yeah, it's true. I mean, the toy maker is basically an Eternal. He's a god. And I'm glad they actually acknowledge this, because it did raise the stakes a little bit for this episode. But fast forwarding a little bit, they do eventually meet the toy maker again. And there's a little puppet show that's put on display. And we get a nice little recap of New Who. So for Donna, this is essential, because she gets told the stories of Amy, Clara and Bill and the Flux, which I thought was like, oh, this was actually quite nice. I did really like this sequence. And the way this was done, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. To be honest, I wasn't expecting anything like this, but it was nice that this was done, because this toy maker is out for revenge. He's here to taunt the Doctor and make this Doctor break. So the Doctor challenges the toy maker to a game of cards, and he does lose. But because he won the game all the way back in the classic series, it's best out of 3. So he does challenge the Doctor again. So the toy maker makes his way to Unit HQ in 2023. And after a bit of a musical number, which to be honest I did really enjoy, and it reminded me of the John Sim scene in The Last of the Time Lords with the Master dancing around to the Scissor Sisters, I really enjoyed that scene. And whilst that was going on, there was some casualties as well. Some unit soldiers got deatomized, which I was like, what is going on? And Kate Lethbridge Stewart got slammed into a wall after dancing with a toy maker. It was a very chaotic scene. But then we do learn that the toy maker gets control of that big gun, and he threatens to use it for all sort of chaos and games. But the caveat of having a rematch with the Doctor for another game is that he has to fight another Doctor. So he shoots the Doctor in the chest, triggering a regeneration, because he wants to play the next game with the next Doctor. But this time, the regeneration, because of certain factors, it takes a bit of a different turn. So through Donna and Mel pulling on the Doctor from each side, we get the introduction of the 15th Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa. And yes, you are hearing me right. If you haven't seen the episode, I mean, I'm sure you already have if you're watching this, but the 14th and 15th Doctor coexist. Yes, that's right, they get pulled out of each other, and they team up to stop the Toymaker through the first game of the universe, Ball. Like catching ball and throwing ball, etc. That's how they save the day through some very complex stuff. And all things go well, and the Toymaker is banished back into the toy box, and the salt put around it to stop the Toymaker from returning, because that's how he returned in the first place. Because that scene in the wall blue yonder with the salt, the Doctor invoked a superstition which allowed the Toymaker to return. But before, everyone goes back to their day, we see that golden tooth. Now that was established that the Master was putting that golden tooth after losing. And it makes you think, what's going on there? But a hand steals that tooth away whilst we hear some giggling in the background. Now, could this be the Master returning in the new series? Who knows? But honestly, that felt like a recall to The Last of the Time Lords as well. But I've got a separate video talking about that. Anyway, we move back onto the Doctors and Donna back in the TARDIS. and you know they're having a recap about everything that's happened, and they kind of come up to the conclusion that the 14th Doctor, played by David Tennant, needs to retire because, you know, that's why his old face came back, because, well, they touch upon it, from the first Doctor meeting the Toymaker, and to be honest, even before then, it's just been constant go, 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 and the Doctor has had a lot of pain in their life. And all of this is acknowledged, obviously, through the Toymaker taunting the Doctor with companion deaths and stuff, and it's kind of put two and two together. And Donna even says, maybe your face came back because you've been running on fumes. You've pushed yourself too far. Maybe you need to rest. And maybe your face came back because you needed to come home and, you know, live a little, be a little bit human with Donna. And that's something that I really like, because him and Donna were best friends. And obviously Donna's gone on to have her own family now. So the Doctor kind of taking a little bit of retirement is well earned. But we also have the 15th Doctor, who is from the future. He is able to exist and go out and be in all Doctor and stuff, because we do know that his past incarnation, the one played by David Tennant, does retire and he gets better. So the Doctor taking this time out, it's good. It's good for him, and it helps him recover and become the Doctor again, which I thought was a nice touch. It also allows a little bit of wiggle room for David Tennant to return as the 14th Doctor, because another little bit of a flash forward here. The Doctor does end up retiring with Donna and her family, and they have like a meal of sorts, a picnic at Donna's house with Mel. And there's hints that because the TARDIS is now split in two, thanks to the Toymaker's mallets, that they are able to travel about here and there. And the Doctor even hints that he's had some adventures with Mel and Rose Noble as well. So who knows, maybe the 14th Doctor could end up getting a spin-off at some point. But the future certainly is left open for him to return. But overall, it was a nice little episode. Obviously, I'll have my full review coming, but this plot was crazy. Even just recapping it all now, it really was a crazy episode. But anyway, I'm going to go now. So thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you are new around here, please click that like button and subscribe for more nerdy content, because I'm trying to reach 6,000 subscribers, which I would love to reach by the end of the year. Anyway, take care, love you all, and peace.